From strange delicacies such as eating a live octopus to creepy foods such as fried tarantulas, we take a look at 10 of the strangest delicacies in the world. Number 10. Live octopus, Korea. In Korea, sanakji is a raw dish consisting of live octopus. The octopus is cut into pieces while still alive, lightly seasoned with sesame oil and served immediately, while the tentacles can still be seen squirming on the plate. Eating live octopus is a challenge, not only mentally trying to get your head around eating something that's still alive, but physically, as the tentacles stick to any surface they touch. You actually have to fight with your food before you can devour it and savor the taste. The first hurdle is to get the tentacles off your chopsticks, and once the octopus is in your mouth, it will suction your teeth, the roof of your mouth, and your tongue, essentially trying to preserve its own life. Number 9. Surströmming, Sweden. One of the world's strangest dishes can be found in Sweden. Surströmming is fermented Baltic herring, and it can be found on supermarket shelves all over the country, although you probably won't see it next to the IKEA meatballs. The herring is caught in the springtime when it is just about to spawn, and is fermented in barrels for 1 to 2 months before it is tinned, where the fermentation continues for several months. The cans often bulge during shipping and storage because of the continued fermentation process. Certain airlines have in fact banned these cans from being taken on flights, as they consider the pressurized cans to be potentially dangerous, like fireworks and explosives. When the can is opened, the smell is usually what will get to you first, as the fermented fish has a really strong odor. Number 8. Kopi Luwak, Indonesia. You might want to think twice if someone offers you a cup of this coffee when you show up at their house. Kopi Luwak is the rarest, most expensive gourmet coffee in the world. Sounds divine, right? It's actually made from the excrements of an Indonesian cat-like creature called the luwak. The luwak eats only the ripest coffee cherries, but its stomach can't digest beans inside them, so they come out whole. The coffee that results from this process is said to be like no other, and the stomach acids and enzymes that perform the fermentation of the beans give the coffee a special aroma. With an expensive price tag of anywhere between $120 to $300 per pound, you might want to start saving now if you want to try this gourmet coffee. Number 7. Pufferfish, Japan. You've got to be careful with this delicacy or you might end up in the morgue. The deadly pufferfish is the ultimate delicacy in Japan, even though its skin and insides contain the poisonous toxin toxin, which is 1,250 times stronger than cyanide. That's why in Japan, only expert chefs in licensed restaurants are allowed to prepare it. Otherwise, you're likely to become paralyzed while still conscious and eventually die from asphyxiation because there is no known antidote. 15 people died in Thailand when the fish was made illegal and people started dyeing it pink and passing it off as salmon. Number 6. Casu marzu, Sardinia. The Sardinian cheese is a cheese with a difference. It's riddled with insect larvae. Casu marzu means rotten cheese and is most commonly referred to as maggot cheese. It's now banned for health reasons, but can still be available on the black market in Sardinia and Italy. The sheep's milk cheese is basically pecorino, which has had the larvae of the cheese fly introduced to it. Fermentation occurs as the larvae digest the cheese fats, and the texture becomes very soft, but with some liquid seeping out. The cheese has to be eaten when the maggots are still alive because when they are dead, it's considered to be toxic. Number 5. Snake wine, Vietnam. Fancy some wine with a difference? A bouquet of snake with some snake blood notes, perhaps. Snake wine is a bottle of rice wine with a venomous snake inside and has medicinal purposes, but is probably more useful for display purposes than to drink. The snake is left to steep in the rice wine for many months to let the poison dissolve in the wine. The ethanol makes the venom inactive, so it's not dangerous, and snake wine supposedly has many health benefits. It has a slightly pink color, like a nice rosé, because of the snake blood in there. It originated in Vietnam, where snakes are thought to possess medicinal qualities, but it has spread to other parts of Southeast Asia and southern China. Number 4. Balut, Philippines. A bit like with a Kinder Surprise, you certainly will be surprised to open these eggs, though not in the same pleasant way as finding a toy inside. You get to eat your chicken and your egg at the same time with balut. Fertilized eggs are boiled just before they're due to hatch, so your yolk oozes out, followed by a chicken fetus. They are cooked when the fetus is anywhere from 17 days to 21 days, depending on your preference. Although when the egg is older, the fetus begins to have a beak, claws, bones, and feathers. In Filipino culture, balut is almost as popular as the hot dog is in America, and street vendors yell out "balut" as they push their carts down the street. Number 3. Puffin heart, Iceland. Sometimes referred to as the clown of the ocean or sea parrot, the puffin, with its colorful beak and clumsy behavior, is considered an adorable bird. The sight of a puffin flapping its wings and jumping from a cliff to generate enough lift to become airborne is enough to make anyone go, "ha aww." In Iceland, however, these seabirds have been a source of substance for Icelanders on the islands for centuries. Iceland is home to one of the world's largest colonies of puffins, and sky fishing is a sport which involves catching the low-flying birds in a big net. The best place to catch a puffin or two is on the Westman Islands, where they are sustainably harvested to prevent them from becoming extinct. The heart of a puffin is eaten raw, while it's still warm in traditional Icelandic delicacy. Number 2. Bird's nest soup, China. You wouldn't necessarily think a bird's nest would be edible, but the Chinese use swift's nest to make this soup, known as the caviar of the East. Right now you're probably imagining a nest made out of twigs and leaves, but swiftlets make their nest predominantly out of saliva. It's something in the saliva of the bird that makes it have this unique, gelatinous, rubbery texture, and it's one of the most expensive animal products consumed by humans. It's expensive because the swiftlets build their nest during the breeding season over a period of 35 days, and nests can only be harvested around 3 times a year. The nests are typically built in coastal caves, and collecting them is a treacherous process, involving climbing and nimble skill, which adds to the hefty price tag. With an increase in demand for bird's nest soup, however, man-made nesting sites are often constructed. Hong Kong and the US are the largest importers of bird's nests, and a bowl of soup can cost around $30 to $100 per bowl. Number 1. Fried tarantulas, Cambodia. If you suffer from arachnophobia, you probably don't want to try eating these 8-legged monsters. They're not tiny little house spiders, they're great big tarantulas, and you can buy them in the streets of Skuon, Cambodia. They're fried whole, legs, fangs, and all. They were first discovered by starving Cambodians and have gone from being the vital sustenance of these people to a delicacy tourists come far and wide to try. The black hairy arachnids found in the jungle around the market town of Skuon have become a source of fame and fortune for the region, as busloads of people stop by to try them on their way to other places. They cost only a few cents and supposedly taste delicious, as they are best plucked straight from the burrow and pan-fried with a bit of garlic and salt. They're supposed to taste a bit like crickets or scrawny chickens, and are crispy on the outside with a gooey body on the inside.